What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin and a few altcoins as well. Right now, Bitcoin's sitting at $17,961. We're down 1.61%. What I want to do today was look at some of the past corrections that we've had in Bitcoin here on the 4-hour time frame, kind of look at the percentage that they have dropped so we can have an idea of where Bitcoin, Ethereum, these different altcoins, where they're going to finally get that bounce out of this short-term correction. And last night I was reading in my book, it's called Elliott Waved Explained, A Real-World Guide to Predicting and Profiting from Market Turns. It's by Robert C. Beckman. There was a great quote in here, and this is by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all around you are losing theirs, you'll be a man, my son. And I think that's great for the cryptocurrency space because the moves can be so extreme. And many of us who have been in cryptocurrency since like 2017, and we've seen that whole bear market. A lot of us are tainted from the bear market that, anytime Bitcoin starts dropping, that could be it. That could be the start of the bear market, and we just start, moving down and just grinding down because that's for about 2 years we dealt with lower highs and lower lows. And it was like when you'd get those big pumps, and all of a sudden there's just going to be this massive dump on your face. But things have been different here. We're in a bull market. We're about in the middle of a bull market, in my opinion, for Bitcoin right now. And it's important to look at these areas and kind of see where the price action will take you. But if you can keep your head about you when there's these big corrections and you can step in and you can buy in uptrends like we always talk about, you want to be buying in uptrends when you have corrections. You don't want to be buying in those bear markets unless you're just playing a quick reaction. We'll always talk about that because you want to align yourself with the trend. You don't want to fight the trend, especially if you're new in this game. Okay, but it's important to keep your head about you. And also when you get those massive spikes, you got to keep your head about you as well and not get too greedy. Because I know there's many people who saw coins go straight up here just recently, and now a lot of them have even retraced back to where they broke out to. And that was a profit-taking opportunity. If you're a swing trader, we're not talking about long-term investing, we're talking about swing trading here. But those are the opportunities, and then you can get back in the market when you see a good bullish candlestick reversal pattern off of support. Take a look at that RSI, MACD. Those are things that can help you. But right now on the 4-hour for Bitcoin, what we're trying to do is still hold this 200 moving average. We've been up above it since October, so it's important that we stay up above that. Right now it's at 17,544. On the 4-hour, we did have a bullish engulfing candle off this area here, this 200 moving average. So what we would need to get up through now, the main area I'm going to look at is roughly about $18,567 is going to be the overhead resistance. But now you can see in this short-term correction, we broke down out of this symmetrical triangle here, broke to the downside on heavier volume. So now what you want to do is watch that volume when you're having those impulses to the downside. You can see it's been on heavier volume, reaction a little bit weaker volume. Then you're going to see if you get that next leg down on heavier volume until we set that next higher low, because we're trying to change this trend, right? From lower highs and lower lows in the short term to right here. If we could set a higher low and then a higher high, come up here, higher low, higher high. We're trying to change that trend. So we're going to have to see if this is the bottom here. If we can hold that as support here for this short-term correction that we've been dealing with. We've dropped about roughly 10%. And that was since about November 30th. We went down about 10% here after moving sideways for quite a while. And this drop over here was roughly about 18%. But the median time, if you look at corrections for Bitcoin, on average, it's about 12 days, and it can drop about 30%. And I did a video on that the other day. You can check that out about Bitcoin corrections, really good information in there. So those are the areas we're going to have to hold for Bitcoin, guys, just seeing if we can stay up above about that $17,600. See if we can hold that, change this trend in the short term, see if we can get moving back to the upside. So that's going to be Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. Next, I want to move into Ethereum. Take a look at ETH. ETH's at 548 right now. Very similar on the 4-hour time frame, still trying to hold this 200 moving average. We've held it for quite a long time, so it's important that we stay up above that. Let's see for ETH here. I mean, for the most part, guys, we could almost go all the way back to October. Had a brief little spot underneath it here, but we popped back up. So in my opinion, looking at this, $531 is going to be a big support area right here. That's where a lot of support could correlate for us. And we've also tested it before back here. So if that does break, then we'd have to start looking down to around $500 psychological, would be the downside target. To the upside, we got to get back up over top of about $566. But now you can see the moving averages are starting to crash down upon us right now. So we want to pay attention to that. And we have this yellow downtrend as well that we would need to break out of. So if we just go back up here and test this and we don't break up through it, then we could have that other leg down and it could present some, decent buying opportunities. But these are the areas to watch. The RSI right now is at 41. The stock is at 55 and 51. That's what we have there. But really watch this downtrend, see if we can break up through that. So that's going to be Ethereum. Next one I want to get into is Link on the 4-hour time frame here. Link on the 4 hours below the 20, 50, 200, and 100. We're below this white trend line here, which we could extend out a little bit farther. That's the one we're going to have to break and get up through. In terms of support, we're going to try to hold $11.45. Overhead resistance, we got to get back up over top of $12. We have some slight divergence going on here. You can see where our price action was around $11.70. Then we went down to around that $11.41 while we were actually gaining a little bit of strength and some higher lows on the RSI there. So let's see if we can turn this around a little bit, but we are in the short term fighting that trend if you're going long in this area. Okay, if you step back here, you can see that's the downtrend right now. We're basically back to where we started. So that's what we talked about sometimes, guys. When profits stare you in the face, it's always good to take a little bit off the table. And then if it goes back down, you have the opportunity to even buy more in the coin that you like. Use stop losses and risk management and stuff, but really learn about this stuff. And you'll be able to be that guy. You'll be the man, like it said here. If you keep your head about you and all else are losing theirs, you'll be the man. You'll be the man. So when price is really going down, you have these massive corrections, and you see these long wicks here on heavy volume. Maybe that's time to take a little chance there and put a stop loss underneath that. See if you can ride that to the upside. You got to take a little bit of risk sometimes too, guys. That's the thing, So that's going to be Link. Let's see, Dash is at 94 right now. XTZ at 208. See, Maker at 511. Zcash back down to 64 now. Bitcoin Cash 260. Let's take a look at XRP. XRP is trying to hold about 54 cents right now. Is going to be the support area. If we don't hold that, it's going to be down to that 200 moving average on the 4 hour here, and that'd be around 49 cents would be the area. But what XRP is trying to do on the 4 hour time from here, you see how we pushed up? We're trying to have this as our higher low, then see if we can go up and have that higher high and get up through roughly about 59 cents is what it's going to be. So we can change it from this short-term downtrend. We have to change the trend. You can see I have an alert up here at about 64 cents. Because this is going to be a big area if we can get through this. But this is how markets work. You always want to look to see if you're seeing lower highs and lower lows in a downtrend or higher highs and higher lows in an uptrend. I'm just trying to teach you all some things here while you're with me. That's the number one thing I want on this channel is for people to learn for themselves. Then let's take a look at the technicals for XRP. Right now on the 1 day, we're looking at a 9 sell, 10 neutral, 9 buy, oscillators 2 sell, 9 neutral, and a 0 buy. On the 4 hour time frame, you're seeing more of the sell signals. On the 1 week, more of the buy signals here. So a little bit more short-term bearish like we've talked about, longer-term bullish. That's where we're looking at there. And let's see if there's any other ones. Take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin's at $71 right now, trying to get a bullish engulfing candle here on the 4 hour time frame. The 20 EMA is crossing down through our 200, so we want to be aware of that. If we get pushed down farther, the support would be at about 67.45. In terms of overhead resistance, we have to get up through roughly now that 200 moving average, and that's going to be at $75.20. RSI is at 34 right now. The stock down here, we are starting to get a little bullish cross. We're at 42 and 23 right now. If we take a look at the technicals, we have an 11 sell, 10 neutral, and a 7 buy. Oscillators 1 sell, 9 neutral, 1 buy. So this scenario, you just want to be careful, guys. I would label it as short-term bearish, longer-term bullish is what we're looking at right now. We just have to see when we change it to that short-term uptrend again. So be careful, my friends. God bless each and every one of you. Keep your head about you. Look for those great opportunities. Take care.